Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then. It's the FA Cup match preview, the FA Cup quarter-final clash at Stamford Bridge as Leicester City take on another Premier League side after beating Bournemouth last time out in the FA Cup in extra time 1-0, thanks to a fantastic goal by Abdul Fatawu. This time though, can the Foxes go and get another Premier League scout then in Chelsea? Can the Foxes spring a surprise at Stamford Bridge on Sunday afternoon? That is the big question. A big game for the Foxes, but a tough one as well. I'm going to be joined shortly by Charlie from Blue Brother. He's going to give me the lowdown on the Blues. And we're going to chat about the game itself. Hello, Ross. How are you? Hello, Terry. Bring it on. You know what? You got to be in it to win it in the FA Cup. 90 minutes away from Wembley, which is the semi-finals. And, you know, Leicester have just got to go and give it their all in the game, haven't they, you know? And, yeah, just be up for the game and really enjoy the occasion. Guys, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It helps out massively. Let's get my guest in then, Charlie from Blueberry. Charlie, how are you, mate?
Yeah, mate, all good. Pleasure to be back on. You know, wasn't expecting a meeting between us this season, but yeah, it's nice to run it back again.
No, it is. We had you on last season when both sides were battling it out in the Premier League. This time, Chelsea are in the Premier League, aren't they? Leicester are in the Championship. What a game this one is. I mean, these two sides know each other quite well in the FA Cup, don't they, Charlie? In league action and that. Firstly, before we move on with the show, plug your channel for me, Charlie. Let everybody know what you do regarding Chelsea Football Club, mate.
Yeah. No, thanks, mate. Literally, as it is on the screen there, at Blue Brother CFC. Yeah, Chelsea stuff, previews, reviews, guests, vlogs, everything basically. So yeah, heading towards 9,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you wanna help me on that journey, then please do subscribe to the channel, just at Blue Brother CFC, as it is on screen right now.
Yeah, appreciate that. Let's get on to the FA Cup tie, Charlie. Let's get to know the opposition first before we talk about the game itself. Chelsea, how have you found things under Pochettino? I mean, 11th in the Premier League. You did bring in players like Cesare this season and players like that. How have you found under Poch?
It's been difficult. I think, you know, it's not been an easy season for us. I don't think it's gone as well as people expected it to go. There's no denying that the fact we're middle of March and we're still bottom half of the table and not hit 40 points, that's not great. You know, to put it lightly, that isn't good enough for what we're looking to do. You know, Poch has struggled to get any sort of consistency out of this team. For me, not enough players have improved this season under his management. I get it, you know, that development's not linear and players are going to progress and develop at different rates and whatnot, but I would have expected a few more to develop. I think Pochettino's in-game management's been poor. I think his tactics have been poor at times. He's played a lot of players out of position, which is not helped our cause. Yeah, we did make the Carabao Cup final, which was a positive, but we lost that, and it's a game that we should have won. There have been some positives with the likes of Cole Palmer. I think has been exceptional for us this season. You know, Conor Gallagher's been very good. Nicholas Jackson, I think, has had a decent first campaign. But yeah, it's been tough, to be honest, mate. It's been tough, and really for where we want to be as a club and for what we've achieved in the past, it's not good enough, basically. But so there's a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah. I mean, the Premier League's been difficult for you lot, hasn't it? You're not where you'd like to be. We did talk about before the show, you having a game in hand, needing obviously 3 points, put the pressure on Manchester United, who are obviously in the European spots where Chelsea would like to be. Realistically, in this minute in time, Charlie, where do you see Chelsea going this season? I mean, where would you be happy with?
Mate, we need to play European football. For me right now, I think given the league games that we've got left, we've got to go to Aston. We've got Aston Villa. We've got to go to Aston Villa again. We've got to go to Brighton. We've got Spurs. We've got Arsenal. We've got Man United. We've got some tough games left in the run-in. And it's going to be difficult to qualify for the Europa. The Europa League is the best we're going to do this season. It's going to be difficult to qualify for the Europa League through the league. Out of the 11 games we've got left, to be honest, I think we need to win 7 of them minimum if guarantee us a top 6 place. I think to be honest, mate, I think we'll finish 7th or 8th. FA Cup's our best chance of playing Europa League next season. In theory, we're 3 games away from Europa League football. And that's a lot more doable, I think, than the route through the league. So yeah, for me personally, mate, I think this season we have to try and get Europa League football. Conference League, whilst wouldn't be like an absolute disaster because it would give us more games and we'd be able to play we'd be able to do a lot of rotation and give players a lot more minutes, which would be very beneficial to their development and stuff. We really need Europa League football, so that's got to be the aim for the rest of the season, whether it's the league or whether it's the FA Cup. But as I said, the FA Cup definitely is our best chance of getting Europa League football next season.
Yeah, Chelsea have struggled with a lot of injuries this season, haven't they, Charlie? To be honest, quite a lot of injuries. Reece James, Ben Chilwell, Wesley Fofana, just to name a few. I mean, Chelsea have really struggled to keep players fit this season, haven't they, Charlie? With how far the season has gone for Chelsea. How has Poch found a way around that to finding a solution to bring in players in to replace these players? I'm sure it's been a difficult task.
Yeah, this is why I do cut him a little bit of slack. There's absolutely things that he's got to improve on, but we've not been able to use like a lot of players that are key first team players and would have made a difference to this team. Malagusto's been brilliant for us, but if Reece James had been fit for most of the season, I think that makes a big difference. Obviously, Wesley Fofana's been out for the whole season. Would he have been a starting centre back this season? I don't know, but to have the option there is beneficial. Ben Chilwell's missed large parts of the season. Romeo Lavia has literally played 30 minutes this season. Nkunku's barely featured this season either. There's a lot of players that just haven't been available enough this season that would have made a big difference to this team. And I suppose when you've got a new team, new squad of players and stuff, you want to try and get that continuity and, for them to play together on the pitch as often as possible to build that consistency as a team. And most weeks the lineup's been changing because we've not had the personnel available. That has been an issue in terms of finding solutions. We've had to play Levi Colwill at left back for large parts of this season. There's been a few different solutions at centre forward, whether it's been Cole Palmer as a false 9 or whether it's been Raheem Sterling up there or whatever it is. There have been some solutions, but look, make no mistake about it, it's been a struggle and it has definitely affected our season.
Talk to me about Poch as you'd call him a head coach, wouldn't you? Because that's all Chelsea seem to bring in, isn't it? Head coaches, they've never really had a manager. It's just been head coach. Talk to me about life under Poch. I mean, it's kind of difficult, isn't it? With obviously Poch, since he came in, it's not really been as influential as Chelsea fans expected, isn't it? Obviously, Poch did. He obviously had Spurs in the Champions League final. He did okay at PSG. Where do you think it's gone right and wrong for him at Chelsea Football Club? I mean, is he the right man to lead Chelsea, for example?
I don't know if he's going to be the guy that is going to win us leagues and things like that. But I certainly think he can be someone that takes us so far, and then someone else comes in to like finish the job off, as it were. It's been difficult for him, as I said. He's let himself down with a number of things. I think his tactics have been poor for large parts of the season. His game management has not been good. Excuse me. His use of players out of position, not great. He's so slow to react to things in matches. There's a lot of things that he needs to do better with. But then there's also a lot of things that have been out of his control. I want him to do well here, because we need to get to a point where we don't, at the first time a manager doesn't do well, we just get rid of them. With the route that we've gone down, it's you have to be patient, and we can't just at the first sign of difficulty replace the manager, because we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to build anything. So I'm not saying that we should just blindly stick by Pochettino if the evidence is not there to suggest there's progress being made. But at the same time, this ownership comes in and has preached this project. You can't get to a situation where 2 years in, you're on your fourth permanent manager. Like you just can't be in that situation. So I'm not saying we blindly stick with him, but if we were to win the FA Cup, or if he does qualify us for Europe through the league, then he should stay. And I know a lot of people won't like that, but if we're going to build anything and progress, then we can't keep starting again.
No, I think it's about finding that real formula, isn't it? I think Poch has really struggled with that, to have an influence on the squad. Obviously, big money has been spent by Chelsea on players like Caicedo and that. How do Chelsea develop as a squad going forward? I mean, obviously, you've got like a young squad, haven't you? You've got obviously the experienced types in there, like Thiago Silva's and that. How do Chelsea develop from now going into like the near future?
We just need more time on the pitch. The coaching is going to be really important. I think Pochettino's coaching's not been good this season. Not, as I was saying earlier, not enough players for me have improved enough. I'm not saying that everyone should have improved, but there's not many players that since they joined, or certainly have improved at the rate you perhaps might have expected them to. So that needs to improve. We need to add a few more pieces to the jigsaw. We need a number 9. I think we'll look to bring in another left back as well, and I think we'll look to bring a centre back in the summer also. Plus, a lot of players will move on. So I think it's a case of moving the players on that need to be moved on, bringing in the right quality and experience in the market in the key positions we need, and then it's just a case of right. Let's just get to work and see what we can do. But we need more. We need more games. We need more games. So that's why the European qualifying for Europe, even if it's Conference League, like that's going to help the score, because it's more games and it's more time to develop and it's more time to play. So yeah, for me, mate, I'd put those down as the main things that can help us improve. Poch's coaching needs to improve, but we just need more games.
Yeah, you'd think as a coach though, he'd improve quite a lot. Like during his managerial career, where he can put things right and where he can't, and how to get better as the time goes on. Because he's a very experienced coach, Poch. He's been around football for a while. Surely he'd learn the whole basics of things and stuff like that to help Chelsea push on, rather than sort of stay where they are at the minute. Surely you can find that way to, make Chelsea more successful in results and that going forward and that. And I think that's something he's got to sort of take into consideration. But how have you found life without N'Golo Kante in that midfield? Has he been that missing piece, do you reckon, in that midfield, where now you seem to be conceding a lot of goals, don't you, Charlie, this season? Goals that, you think to yourself, how have we conceded all these goals? What's that been down to, Charlie, where it's been affected, where you have conceded all these goals?
I think, look, we've going forward, we've improved this season, but defensively, we've regressed. We're conceding a lot more goals than we did last season. Last season, we were pretty much losing every single week, but our defensive record was a lot better. We don't defend set pieces well at all. I think a large part of it has been down to the amount of space between the back line and the midfield, the amount of space between Enzo and Caicedo in the midfield. There's been a lot of space to exploit. That hasn't helped us defensively. As I said, we're not. We've just from set pieces we've been awful, and there's just been lapses of concentration, and a lot of mistakes have been made playing out from the back. So yeah, there's a number of things, but defensively this season has been we have regressed despite the quality we have individually. As a defensive unit, we've been really poor this season.
Fair assessment. Talk to me about your last game in the FA Cup, a 3-2 win over Leeds United.
Yeah, it was close. It was close.
Last grasp win for Chelsea. Conor Gallagher with the winning goal. I mean, Leeds went to Stamford Bridge and gave Chelsea a hell of a game, I thought. You know what I mean? They caused Chelsea all sorts of problems. I thought they were good with the amount of changes they made in the game, Leeds. They really pushed Chelsea to the limit that night, I thought. But Chelsea took their chances when it mattered, didn't they? When they needed to. They knew there was always going to be in for a game, how tough it was going to be playing against the Leeds side who like to get stuck in. Talk to me about your 3-2 win over Leeds.
Yeah, mate, it was relief, really. The cup's just about going through. So, like, you're not really too fussed to a degree how you play. But, yeah, it was a lot closer than we were expecting. Obviously, you go a goal down, never ideal. Again, that sloppiness playing out from the back. We get ourselves 2-1 up. But then, like, second half this season, games in the second half, we've been dreadful. It's like we come out and we're just asleep. We forget how to play. Our performances in the second half are awful. Leeds get the equaliser. And you know what? There was literally only one team that looked like they were going to win that game, and that was Leeds. You know, they looked like a well-coached team, well-drilled. Everyone knew what they were doing. They played us off the park, absolutely dominated us in that second half. But luckily, we made a couple of subs, and you know, we eventually got the breakthrough at the end. But yeah, it wasn't a convincing performance, and particularly in that second half, Leeds absolutely dominated us. So, yeah, it was. Look, we got through, which is the main thing and the most important thing, but it wasn't a great performance. And to get played off the park at home by a lower division side is not great.
No, I think Leeds had exploited Chelsea's weaknesses, like you say. You know, they knew where they could hurt Chelsea, and as the game went on, you could see where Leeds knew how directly they was, where they knew they was hurting Chelsea, and they aimed for that sort of threat, which obviously, you know, proved to the 2 goals that Leeds scored, you know, but they did dominate most parts of the game. Chelsea had to bring that quality on, like the Conor Gallagher in that, which obviously helped in that moment in time to really settle Chelsea down. Sort of thing, and they obviously went on and got the win. The winners went on to face Leicester. Obviously, these two sides know each other well in cup competition, Charlie. What is your thoughts ahead of this game at Stamford Bridge at the weekend? Talk to me about what your feelings ahead of this one from a Chelsea perspective.
It's going to be difficult. I think Leicester are going to arrive similar quality to Leeds. I don't think there's an awful lot of difference between the two sides. Maybe you're slightly better, but the quality is not going to be a massive change, I don't think. It's going to be a difficult game for sure. I think it's fair to say that, you know, for Leicester, the priority's going up rather than this. Obviously, you're going to give it a go, but it's like the priority is the league and making sure you return to the Premier League. I think a few injuries are going to be helpful to us. No Jamie Vardy, no Ricardo Pereira, no Dennis. I don't know how much Dennis Pratt's played this season, but I think I've seen it. He's out as well. And maybe there's another one out as well. But yeah, some potential key players there, which is going to be a plus for us for sure if they're not playing. I don't know how much Maresca is going to rotate the side. Obviously, it's an international break coming up, so there's no need to really not go with your strongest lineup. So yeah, I'm expecting a difficult game. I think we've got the quality to get the win and to go through, but I'm not expecting this to be an easy game. Leicester City have got, you know, players that can cause issues. I mean, Mavadidi's been great since he arrived in the summer. Dewsbury Hall, I think, is a player that I really like. And yeah, it's gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be one of them where it's gonna be like a 2 or 3-0. I don't think. I think you'll give us a tough game, and it will be like the Leeds game. I think it will be close. I mean, I don't expect us to keep a clean sheet. I expect you to score and give it a really good go, particularly, as I said earlier, because you haven't got any championship games coming up because everyone's off for a couple of weeks with the international. So there's no excuse to not give everything and go for it for either side.
Yeah. I mean, where can Leicester hurt you, Charlie? I mean, what are Chelsea's weaknesses?
Set pieces, balls into the box. That's where you can get at us in transition. You can get at us as well. Maybe in the counter attack, but for me, the biggest weakness for us is absolutely set pieces and balls into the box. We don't deal with that very well. We have let a lot of goals in this season via set plays or open ball or open play balls into the box. Like that, for me, is where you're going to have your most success.
Fair enough. The thing is, from a Leicester fan perspective, like you say, you always have that in the back of your mind that the league is the main focus rather than this game. Some would agree, that winning the championship and getting promoted is obviously our main target this season. If you can do well in the cups, then it's an absolute bonus, isn't it? 90 minutes away from Wembley, anything can happen in this game, let's be honest, Can the Foxes go and upset the Blues at Stamford Bridge? Who knows?
It's possible. It's definitely possible. I think Leicester are a decent side. I mean, obviously, I haven't watched an awful lot of them this season, but they're playing some good stuff. I think you've dipped a little bit, haven't you? I think I was looking today, like you've only won one of your last 3. Like the form's dropped a little bit. The gap, which was quite big at the top of the league, is now really squeezed back up with what Leeds and Ipswich and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, look, I think Leicester is still the standout team in that division, and you'll definitely, come and you'll give it a real good go. And I think under Maresca, the team's well coached, well drilled. People, like, everyone knows their jobs. The brand of football is nice on the eye. I was going to ask you, what were your thoughts on Cesare Casadei? Because obviously we recalled him in January, which was an interesting one because, I mean, he's played 17 minutes since we recalled him. I'm not really sure why we bothered recalling him, but I know that you were looking at bringing in Sensi from Milan, which would have been another midfield player, which maybe would have been minutes taken off Casadei. I don't know if we were potentially preempting that or we were bringing him back for cover for injuries to like Lavia and Ugochukwu and whatnot. But I thought he was having an all right season there, Leicester.
I think it was a mixed bag with Casadei regarding Leicester fans. Some didn't rate him. Some thought, give the lad a chance. He was never always a starter, was he? He was a man who always come off the bench. He did score a few goals for us against Rotherham, against Cardiff, and that he did. He got a couple of goals. The championship, I think, maybe was a bit too physical for him, to be honest. It was a bit of it'd always be easy to knock off the ball and stuff like that. I think, when the Chelsea news came about, it was kind of like, was the whole Sensi thing, and Sensi would obviously come in with Casadei going back to Chelsea, which would leave us short in midfield with Casadei going back to Chelsea. Was you guys surprised with Cesare Casadei coming back?
Yeah, I don't think we expected it because the loan was going reasonably well. Yeah, he wasn't a starter every week, but he'd made 25 odd appearances, scored a few goals. And I think it was good for his development to be around the side that's winning a lot, top of the championship, tough division. I'm surprised we recalled him because we've barely used him. He's cup-tied this weekend. I mean, the ironic thing is he probably would have played because Enzo Fernandez is suspended. So I think he would. I'm not saying he would have started, but I think he certainly could have got a chunk of minutes. So, yeah, look, I think with his development, it doesn't make sense to call him back because he's just not going to get the game time he needs. But next season, I presume it will go on loan somewhere else, and we'll try again. But yeah, I'm disappointed he's been recalled because I think it would have been beneficial for him to stay.
Yeah, I just think at Leicester, Charlie, to be honest, it didn't really work out for him as what we'd expected of him when he did come in. There was obviously big hype around him, you know, this huge potential and that. I don't think it showed as much at Leicester as what we'd expected of him. But I mean, this weekend, another Premier League side after seeing off Bournemouth in the last round for Leicester in extra time, a more sort of team where in this game, you know, it's a tough game. It's a tough game. Chelsea, you know, they have got quality in their squad, which is obviously wary. I think we've just got to go out and give it our all, to be honest, you know. I think that's what we'll do. We'll look, obviously, where we can hurt Chelsea and that. And I do think we'll score this weekend. I think I think we're just going to go and enjoy it, to be honest, aren't we? Just see what happens at the end of it, you know. Both sides obviously wanting to make Wembley. Chelsea have already been there this season, haven't they? Just narrowly missing out to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. So, yeah, it's going to be a tasty game, and I think both sides are going to be really up for it. And I think it'll be a good sort of game between Chelsea and Leicester. You know, I think Ndidi will play some part this weekend as well, which is a big key for us. He's a really physical player, isn't he, Wilfred Ndidi? He's a Premier League player, isn't he, Charlie? Wilf?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, when he was playing for Leicester in the Prem, he was doing really well. He was linked with moves to a lot of big teams. I think he's probably dropped off a little bit since that kind of form that he was showing then. I've not watched a lot of him in the Championship, but you know, I think he's definitely, there's no doubt about it, he's got the quality to play in the Premier League, but I don't know if he's at the level he was at maybe a few years ago when he was being talked about moving to big clubs and he was having a big impact in the Premier League. I'm not sure maybe quite at that level that he once was, but yeah, look, he's a good player. He's important for Leicester, and yeah, he's more than got the quality to play in the Premier League 100%. He's a player that I really liked when you boys were in the Premier League. I think there's a lot. He offers a lot, but I just don't think he's quite at the level that he was at maybe a couple seasons ago.
Do you feel the pressure's on Chelsea in this game rather than Leicester? Leicester will obviously go in as the underdogs. Chelsea obviously favourites. How much pressure is on Chelsea to go and win this game?
A lot. You know, the season pretty much rests on it, I'd say. In you know, obviously, you know, the league where I think at best we're going to come 7th or 8th. Yeah, this is the season really. You know, it's so important. It would be awful for us to go out on Sunday. Like it would be terrible. So yeah, mate, the pressure's always on with Chelsea, but yeah, the pressure's on big time for this game because it's, you know, it's a favourable tie for us. Let's make no mistake about it. Leicester are still a good team, but we've got lower league opposition at home at a quarter-final stage of the FA Cup. You know, this is a very good opportunity, and we simply have to take it because the season is riding on this now pretty much. So yeah, we desperately need this. So the pressure's on big time.
I seen a quote earlier on. You know what I'm gonna ask you, Charlie. Yeah. Pochettino has come out and said that it'd be massive if Chelsea did beat Leicester at the weekend. That was the quote I seen. It says all over social media with some of the Chelsea pages, Leicester's pages. What was your thoughts on the comments itself? Is he kind of like taking the pressure off the players, or is it kind of like, well, we actually do want to go and actually make it to Wembley? How do you actually see with what he said?
I think I haven't got a problem with it. Like I think it's more. I think he's referring to that it'll be massive to win in terms of making the semi-finals, rather than you know it being massive that you know our Leicester would be a huge scalp for us. This don't make no mistake about it. This would be a big win for us. It would be big to make it back to Wembley again. Semi-finals of the FA Cup. Yeah, it will be huge for us. It's not huge in terms of, oh my God, we've beaten a championship side, but huge in terms of, you know, we've progressed to the latter stages of another domestic cup competition. You know, the confidence it can give this group of players. We might not be so overawed by the Wembley occasion again, given that, you know, this group's already been there this season and kind of, is now got a bit more experience about what it's like to play there. So, yeah, I haven't got a problem with those comments. You know, I think as always, when you see quotes posted on things like that, there's a lack of context a lot of the time. But yeah, look, this will be huge for us. It really is big, and yeah, if we can win, it would be a massive win. Forget the opposition. Like, you know, winning an FA Cup quarter final is big. Simple as that.
It is. It'd be great to get back to Wembley again for Leicester. You know, it'd be a great win for us if we could go in and scout Chelsea.
You haven't been back since you beat us, have you, in the final?
No, we're actually going to talk about that in a minute. That was one of my topics. You know, we're moving further ahead. I thought you'd want to forget about that one, Charlie. To be honest, but you know, FA Cup head-to-head stats: 7 played, 5 in Chelsea's favour, 1 in Leicester's, 1 draw. Then we talk about last time out in the FA Cup. The FA Cup final was these two sides last met in the FA Cup. Yuri Tillemans with an absolute thunderbolt, sending the Leicester end into absolute mayhem. What a win for the Foxes. First time FA Cup winners as well. Ben Chilwell scored. Rolled out by VAR is offside. What a moment. Leicester fans would have loved that one, to be honest. 8,000 Leicester fans, 8,000 Chelsea fans. It was during COVID, of course.
COVID one, wasn't it? Yeah.
What a great win for Leicester. I think it's one Chelsea fans would want to forget about, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, we lost. I think that was the third FA Cup final in a row we'd lost. Only team that has lost 3 in a row. So yeah, it wasn't good for us. Obviously, it's a great goal from Tielemans, but yeah, we were awful that afternoon. I mean, you lot thoroughly deserved it. Definitely one to consign to the scrap heap and forget about as quickly as possible. But yeah, mate, we were really poor in that game. I was expecting a lot more from us, and we were shocking. Simple as that. It was a bad day at the office for us, that one.
Yeah, I thought we held ourselves quite well that game. You know, scored a fantastic goal. You know, scalping one of the big clubs, which is, you know, when you face a side like what Chelsea's quality had on the day, you know, you've got to put your best performance in, and we did. Tuchel, you know, he was wary of Leicester that day for sure. I think you know, Brendan Rodgers knew what Chelsea had in quality as well. But for Tielemans' goal to go in the way it did, you could hear the Leicester fans say shoot. And then when it went in top corner, it was absolute mayhem in the away end, absolute scenes. And yeah, it was sweet for us that day, which was a great win for us. First FA Cup winners. And yeah, it was fantastic. And what an achievement for a squad that, you know, the likes of Jamie Vardy that day, club legends and that, who's really done wonders for the club. Wes Morgan, Mark Albrighton, you know, players who have been quite successful with Leicester. Obviously, Wes Morgan's now retired, but yeah, what a great day out it was, you know. And what a special moment to share with the fans that day. Let's have a look at the last 5 FA Cup results. I mean, don't really go in Leicester's favour, Charlie, looking at this. Maybe it gives you a bit more confidence going into this one. May 2021, Leicester winning 1-0. Chelsea beating us 1-0. I believe that was the one where Ross Barkley scored, wasn't it, Charlie? The one at the King Power Stadium.
Yeah, I think it was. That would have been in COVID as well. Yeah, June 2020, yeah. So I don't remember most of these.
2-1. I think that was when Alvaro Morata scored for Chelsea that day.
I don't remember the 5-2 in 2012.
The 5-2 was when I tell you what, we're going to get onto the 5-2. That was the last time. I think that was the last time Chelsea and Leicester played each other, when we was a Championship side and you was a Premier League side. I think this is the first time we've played each other in this sort of format. Yeah. Since then, Fernando Torres scored for you. Like, he weren't having the greatest time at Chelsea, and then all of a sudden, I think he scored a hat trick. Ben Marshall scored a wonder goal past Petr Cech. But yeah, we did end up losing the game itself. yeah, I think it was just glad for us that we scored a few goals against Chelsea, to be honest. Fernando Torres, it was his best game in a Chelsea shirt, I reckon.
I don't remember that at all.
Let's go on to team selection. I mean, how did Chelsea line up? Enzo Fernandez will be missing this game, won't he, Charlie, with the 2 yellow cards that he had got in the FA Cup. How did Chelsea line up against Leicester?
Well, for me personally, I wouldn't be making too many changes. I'd stick with the same back four that we had last time out against Newcastle. So Petrovic in goal, Gusto right back, Chalobah and Disasi in the middle. I'd stick with Cucurella at left back. Chilwell is back available again, but I wouldn't put him straight back into the lineup given his fitness issues. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Poch did that. Midfield, I think Conor Gallagher will just drop a bit deeper and play alongside Caicedo. And then for me, I'd have Cole Palmer on the right, Mudryk in that number 10 role. And then I'd personally play Madueke on the left-hand side because I'm not a massive fan of Sterling at all, but I would expect Sterling to play. And then it'll be Nicholas Jackson up front.
I remember when Leicester were after Madueke, when he were at PSV. I remember when we played them in the
Conference League, European League,
European competition, the Conference League.
Yeah.
I remember when we was going to sign him, but then because I don't know if we'd struggled with transfers at that bloody point after. It was one that we missed out on. Chilwell, Leicester fans probably won't give him the best of receptions, to be honest. It's kind of like it's bitter, isn't it?
Did he leave on bad terms?
It was kind of like it all started kind of like when you won the game with Ross Barkley.
Yeah,
that game he was seen laughing with the Chelsea players after the game. Leicester fans were fuming, and this time, what's that guy laughing at? And is this guy taking the piss? And then he were injured, and he never. I don't think he ever played for us after that point. That season
because he left that summer, didn't he? 2020 summer, he left.
He ended up leaving. And then I think it was just his comments after he'd left, and Leicester fans weren't having it. And then he sat there and said the FA Cup final with Leicester's his biggest game than the Champions League game, which obviously went on and won. And that caused even havoc after that. And let's just say Leicester fans and Chilwell ain't best friends. Let's just put it that way. But no, I think Hermanson starts. I think we'll go strong in this game. Like I said, the international break, we get a 2-week break after this. I'd start with Connor Cody and Vestergaard. Hamza Chowdhury, I think, will start at right back with obviously the missing Ricardo Pereira.
He's been playing. Is he decent at right back? Obviously, Chowdhury's a midfield player by trade, isn't he?
He's kind of like fed into that role, hasn't he? After with the Ricardo and Maresca's kind of like trusted him, and he's kind of like played a different role.
He's done all right, has he?
I think he's enjoying it. With Hamza, he's a very physical player, isn't he? You know what I mean? He likes to get stuck in.
Yeah, I think that could certainly be a possible target for us if he not a natural right back could be a area to try and exploit.
Yeah, I think that's where Chelsea will look at us and think, well, Hamza's not exactly a right back, But yeah, I think Hamza's done all right since he's been in that position. To be fair, Charlie, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He really gave it a good go. He's been that sort of tackler we need, that bit of grit, that real battler in the team. He's done that, which you'd expect from him anyway. I think Justin will start. Left back, the midfield midfield 5. Harry Winks, former Spurs, he'll start. Then we'll go with Dewsbury Hall, Yunus Akgun, Mavididi, and I think he'll go with Fatawu. The striker, Jamie Vardy's going to be missing for this game. I think, like you said, he's got this little injury, hasn't he? So, he ain't going to be back till after the international break.
Daka leading the line.
See, with Daka, it's like, I don't know. At this minute in time, we don't really trust him. He's not really been clinical up front. He's missed some right sitters, and Leicester fans have come frustrated with it. Give Tom Cannon a chance, or some would probably say Iheanacho, because Iheanacho's he's like the FA Cup man, and he scores quite a lot of goals in the FA Cup.
I would have thought he'd start over Daka. Maybe he won't.
To be honest, I think, to be fair, I'd maybe start Kell. I would personally, because his record in the FA Cup's quite good. I think he's the man who can really hold the ball up and get the players like Mavididi and that in behind and really play that sort of role, that more sort of big man role up front. But I think to be honest, I think he'll go with Daka, but I'm not really sure. He's got three to choose from this weekend, hasn't he? So we'll have to wait and see what Enzo thinks. What's your thoughts on Enzo Maresca, though, Charlie, as a Chelsea fan? What's your thoughts on him? Obviously, he did do well, didn't he, at his time at Man City under Guardiola and that?
Yeah, he was assistant to Pep for the treble winning season last year. Yeah, I think he's done an exceptional job. Look, don't get me wrong, Leicester, I think they got the best squad in the Championship quite comfortably. He managed to keep hold of the majority of your players, and made some very good additions. I think he's done a brilliant job. First job in management, another one of the Pep's disciples, as it were. And yeah, I think he's done a really good job. He's got a clear idea of the way that he wants to play. Team looks well drilled. Style of football is pleasing on the eye. I think he's done really well. I think he's done a brilliant job. Not an easy job, despite what people might say. That it's not an easy job. That Championship's a tough division to get out of. Yes, he's managing a top team in that division, but for his first job in management, I think he's done really well.
Yeah. Score prediction. I mean, where do you see this one going?
I'm hoping it's done in 90 minutes. I don't really fancy extra time and penalties and all that. I mean, if we need that and we win, then fine. But yeah, ideally, I would like it done in 90 minutes for sure. I think we've got the quality to win this. I think it'll be closer than people think. I'm going to go. I'm going to back us. I think we're at home. We do have the quality. I'm going to go for a narrow 2-1 win.
This one, I don't know. I'm kind of like debating different scores for this game. Like I say, as long as we give it all and we give it 100%, and like I say, I think we'll be up for this game. It's a big challenge, of course it is. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to go for a cup upset. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leicester. I'm going to go for Iheanacho to get one in the FA Cup again. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go Harry Winks. I'm going to go for Harry Winks to score. Chelsea, I think Jackson will score for Chelsea, to be honest. I mean, Mudrik's been scoring for you quite a bit, hasn't he, lately?
He's got a couple recently. He scored against Newcastle on Monday night, and he scored against Leeds in the previous round. So, he's got a couple of goals in the last few games.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to back the Foxes, and there's just over 6,000 travelling for the game from Leicester.
Bit bigger capacity in the cup. You'll have the whole of that lower tier opened up as well.
It's going to be a bit of a right atmosphere, We're just got to get behind the lads and see what happens in the game, But may the best team win. Charlie, thanks for coming on, mate. Do appreciate it. If you can, for me, before I let you go, plug your channel for me, fella.
Yeah. Pleasure to be back on as always, mate. Literally as it is on screen right there at Blue Brother CFC. All Chelsea stuff, opposition previews, reviews, vlogs, all the good stuff. Heading towards 9,000 subscribers. So, if you want to subscribe and help me get there, that would be fantastic. As it is on screen at Blue Brother CFC.
Cheers, Charlie, mate. All the best for the rest of the season after Sunday.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. That was Charlie from Blue Brother. Go and check the YouTube channel out. I will leave it in the description. So if you're a neutral and you're watching this, or you're a Chelsea fan, go and check out Charlie's YouTube channel. What's coming up on the final whistle then? So go and check out the Championship predictions, week 38. Go and check that out. We did do the predictions. So go and check them out on the channel. It is live on the YouTube channel now, so go and check that out if you haven't watched it already. The match day vlog will be out after the Chelsea game. Fingers crossed the Foxes can go and spring a surprise at Stamford Bridge. Who knows? But yeah, let's go and put in a very good performance. And yeah, let's go and see what happens on Sunday. 90 minutes away from Wembley. Sing loud and proud at Stamford Bridge at the weekend. 6,000 of us going. Let's go and make it an atmosphere. But no, thanks for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed the stream. And yeah, keep it here at the final whistle. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Hi all. Thank you for watching the final whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share, and subscribe to the channel.